And we're back at it. So, a little break there. So we were talking about Stranger Things.
Yeah, we were talking about Stranger Things as a season 4.
Season 4. So, what I was saying is that what reflects, I felt like it reflects the times, which is, to me, the scariest person or villain in season were the people. And that kid specifically that was like we're gonna get guns and we're gonna win and shoot other kids, and you're like, I mean, this is a small town, you know, I don't know where it is, but it's conservative town, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's that same mentality right now that's going through our country. It was like, this is a real threat in our country now. So that was the scariest thing, right? Like Vecna's terrifying, but on a different level because it's not real. That other element, 100% real. Seeing it on the news like almost every day, right? So that to me was like the most powerful thing about that show. I mean, it was pretty epic. It was crazy, you know, and it was really good. And it makes me hyped the most for the ending, which will be season 5. I'm thinking, right?
Yeah. I think they ended with season 5, which is good. It's a good show, but you gotta let it run its course. And then on top of that, the actors are just getting really old.
Yeah, they're getting older. Yeah. And so I think it's best. I like shows best that way. I think it'll be better that way. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's definitely think it's worth it, especially if you like it. And that's the thing is each season plays out different, but you kind of have to know what happened before.
Yeah.
So I think it's definitely working out. And then the other show we mentioned, Wednesday. Now I haven't finished it, so don't spoil it for me. I still have 2 episodes left. The thing is, the Y are watching it together, and we only like maybe 1 week together. I mean, or one night together each week. So it's been really difficult, especially Christmas and stuff and everything going on. So with all that, I feel like I forgot something. Oh no, but yeah. So that show's so good. It's
really
so
good.
fantastic.
And, you know what? I think all the characters were like good choices. Like the actor they got for Gomez,
Luis Guzman.
Guzman. He's not Spaniard. Like if you look at the comics, he looks
exactly like
very much like the OG Gomez Adams.
Yeah.
And then Catherine Zeta-Jones actually looks pretty close. I mean, that pretty hard to do that thing. So
yeah.
And other nations didn't even try also. But I did like her look compared to the movie one. Movie one looked good for its time.
Yeah.
Just the eyebrows thing, it wasn't needed. And I think they did a good approach on that.
Yeah.
But of course, the best thing was Wednesday herself.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, the actress they got for that really blew it out of the water.
Right. I've seen so many videos of her and with other people of the cast and stuff saying like that Netflix did a really they really pushed that the ads were like fully Hispanic people, right? And so or Latinx, Latino, whatever, right? Like they made sure that not the whole cast, but the Addams family was that way.
Yeah, because you're gonna do Gomez that way. You need to kind of look the part. I mean, you can have Catherine Zeta-Jones that works, but the kids gotta at least look like they have that heritage in them.
Right. And it was so funny to me because somebody at work was like it's funny that Gomez has his first name is Gomez, his last name is Adams. You think it would be like the other way around? And I was like, well, maybe when he came to this country, they changed it on the paperwork because a lot of people change their names when they come to this country. They did it where they cut off the O or they cut off the Mick. Hispanic people have changed, a lot of Hispanic people, they've changed the wallet or whatever, just so it's more American, you know?
Or for Brazil, they had boats where, like, well, your last name now is Silva, deal with it.
Yeah,
and
so
that's what they did.
So it could be that situation, you know? No, we don't. They haven't explained that backstory, but it's really cool. I like how it's different too. It's not your average like Addams Family movie. It's not called Addams Family. It's just called Wednesday. And so if you're disappointed the family's not all in it all the time, it's like, well, it's not called Addams Family. You know,
but the families that have shown up have been good.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, I feel like the best supporting actor is the Hand.
Yeah.
he really does well, and then the roommate's really good too. And I like the little friendship roommate and thing have going.
Oh yeah. yeah, and I've seen people want her to become Spider-Gwen. You know, and she has the energy attitude for it. You know,
she
and
does.
The look for sure.
Did you get to Uncle Fester yet?
No, I have not, but I've heard about it. I've heard about it and who it is and stuff. I've seen it, not the clip, but like, you know, who it is. So
it's done well.
Okay,
it's not Christopher Lloyd. Never going to match Christopher Lloyd.
No. If you've made another Back to the Future and you try to replace him as Doc, it's like you can't do it. So, but I've loved what I've seen. You said they did finally pick up or said making a second season.
Yeah,
right?
They confirmed the second season. So a lot of people are worried because the parent company that did Wednesday, it was bought by Amazon.
Okay.
So they thought
it was
going to move, but no. Amazon went out and say, like, for us, it's good business to keep if things already doing well somewhere, to keep it there.
Yeah,
they're not Disney, who
owns everything.
Who basically like they're like, well, we don't have stuff on Netflix. Let's start charging outrageous amounts and demanding extra episodes so that we bankrupt Netflix or they cancel our shows.
Yeah.
So they canceled them.
Okay.
So that's what they did was they forced them to say, well, if you want to move on, you got to use this much resource.
Yeah.
Which he's not going to want to do.
And it's funny because someone, I told somebody, I was like, yeah, I haven't finished it. Don't spoil it for me. And they're like, oh, Wednesday dies. And I was like, that would be an interesting thing to be like, Wednesday dies. And then Pugsley goes to the school and now he's trying to figure out what happened to her, you know, because I even heard that I think it was Tim Burton said he kind of wants to make an Addams Family universe where they kind of have their own shows in a sense. Or I don't know, but that's what he said is like wants to make like its own multiverse, right? Or its own universe. And I was like, it'd be interesting to have different shows, you know, and he could do that way, which is, you know. Have it where, oh yeah, she dies at the end, and then Pugsley takes over or whatever. You know what I mean? And it becomes like you're just sucking the family in more and more. So, but yeah, I've really digged it, and yeah, it's supposedly like one of the like I don't know if it's the highest like extreme show of Lix's.
I think it's the highest. Yes.
Okay.
Beat Stranger Things.
Oh, did it? Okay.
Stranger Things. I think it beats. I don't know if it's Squid Game or not.
Right, and that's what I wasn't sure if it beats Squid Game.
The Squid Game
was huge. So yeah. And
all
then
they had to do to take out Garden Squid Game was working PlayStation controller.
Yeah, right. So I'm gonna move on to if that's all right with you.
Yeah.
With Boys season 3, I think it was.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it. I just feel like I figured out the formula that they use, and it's getting. I don't say it's getting tired because every time it's the same formula, but different enough that you go, oh, okay, I'm bored. You know, it's like, yeah, the same things happen. Like, oh, you know, Butcher pisses MM leaves, and then they have to go get MM. They have to bring him back, and then Huey does a thing that he shouldn't. That's really gonna piss off Starlight. Starlight does something off Starlight, and then by the end they end up getting back together. Like they end up smoothing it out, and then Butcher's like, I need to do. He does question stuff, and then by the end he's like, sorry guys, you know what I mean? So it's the same, and even like similarly with Fee and his girlfriend, like similar happened with them too, where he's like, oh, screw you guys, and then by the end he's okay, we'll make work or whatever, you know what I mean? Like similar things, but the way that it happens, like Soldier Boy and Herogasm and all that stuff, like how it happened, it just throws you loop. Like, it's the same formula, but it's so right. It's the journey, the destination, right? Like they change it up enough to make you go, okay, this isn't completely. I don't know exactly what's happened, even if I know the formula. You know, I don't know how they're gonna do it, and you go, I want to see how they do it. And because they push the boundaries every time. Speaking of that, that was so gross to me. Like where he goes inside the guy's thing, and I was like, even to me, I was like, you're starting with that. Like that's your opener. Like it's almost too much for me. I almost stopped because I was that's I was like that was crazy. And like I think like that episode or the next, just like guts and gore everywhere. But like Soldier Boy and the Homelander thing, like that was so good. I can't wait to see the next season because he's just gonna be unhinged, Like he pretty much has nothing to lose. So he's just gonna be himself. Like, and that thing is, even this season has been more like him being like, I'm just gonna be myself. I don't care. And people buy into it. Once again, this is a thing that mirrors our own reality, which is that was the scary aspect. Because we're seeing it in our own U.S. politics. Like, hey, I'm going to be the biggest D-bag that I can possibly eat. And people eat it up.
Yeah.
But that I ended up liking it a lot. Like I said, I'm looking forward to more. Once again, I think we have shows that are intended to be, there is an end game. I'm kind of hoping maybe the next season is the last one because I feel like I said, the formula is I won't say it's getting old, but I'm getting used to it, right? It's becoming a little too familiar,
Yeah.
So, but it was pretty solid.
It was really good. My wife and I enjoyed it a lot.
So now another show. I don't know if you watch it, but I did. Lord of the Rings, the Rings of Power.
I got halfway through the first episode and lost interest.
Okay. So I watched the whole thing, and what was your comment about it?
Well, my biggest thing was like if you're gonna do series about the Third Age, have the rights Third Age.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have the rights of the Age. So the only they had the rights to was the books was the Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings books.
Mm-hmm.
Lord of the Rings books. So anything independent of Return of the King was pretty much what they were using.
Okay.
Which is not very much for Third Age. The Silmarillion is where everything's at for the Third Age. So but it just doesn't seem to completely add up as they're having to fill in the gaps themselves while self-consciously being full of not using any material that already exists.
Okay. Yeah, well, I mean, I haven't read that other stuff. I knew through you, and so I did know beforehand though that wasn't going to follow that stuff. I didn't know the why. Now I heard complain because I didn't watch it right away. Where like, it's like way too well polished. It's costing them way too much money. I don't think they're going to be able to keep this up, and stuff like that. And so in watching it and hearing that, I was like, let me see. And there's moment you're like, this looks way too glossy. Like this looks way like you'll be like this whole part have been cut out. You were doing it for like the look, it's so pretty. It's like Yeah, but it helps nothing for the story.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be in there. Now there's moments but the thing is I feel those moments are few and far between. Like I feel like they were on in the show and there's some throughout, but it wasn't bad. In fact, I really like, you know what, the thing I like the most about it was that is the moments where like we're rallying people against a good cause. You know what I mean? Like just gets you into it where you're like, yeah, I want to join an army or a military for the good cause, like World War II. And now it's like you're joining the military. You're like, what am I fighting? Am I fighting for oil? Am I fighting for? Is it political? You know, I'm not fighting the Nazis for trying to take over the entire world. These powers that are trying to take over the whole world. Well, it was very clear here, white, who's in the right and who's in the wrong, right? And so same thing in this world, it's very obvious, like who's evil and who's not evil. You know what I mean? So like other things that where they separate from its content, you know, like a lot of the Marvel movies, you know, a lot of those and stuff, like they're not exactly the comics. And so the people that can pull the complaints, I've separated myself from been like, I don't even care, right? And so just so I enjoy stuff, right? I just go, you know what, I'm just gonna enjoy like what I don't like what I'll criticize. It's something that I have an issue with. We'll talk about stuff like that in a little bit. So I feel like I enjoyed it for the most part. The reveal of who Sauron was pretty good. It was revealed to me a little bit earlier because I was following it week by week, so I was behind. So that was a bummer. I kind of hate that things are that way, you know, because we run this, and so I have to keep up with stuff on social media, and then it's revealed to me. You know, they don't give the month or whatever. They don't care. Like, oh yeah, you know, it's like I'm not seeked out. You know, it just boom,
shows up.
It's just right there, and you're really, that sucks. So. And not like doing that on our page. I feel like our page is for people that are like us. We have kids, we have lives. We can't watch everything on a weekly basis. I'm not trying to post everything, spoilers immediately. I'll wait at least a month, you know. So, and I try not to really post spoilers anyways, but I enjoyed it, and I feel like the show makes me want to read the books, you know. And yet I can watch the show on its own separate, you know. So that's how I feel about that. And I'm down for a second season because I want the dark age, you know, darkness and stuff. That's just really cool to me. Speaking of,
there's another Amazon series that's really good.
Okay.
I feel like it's not appreciated as much as others.
Mm-hmm.
The Devil's Hour.
Okay.
It is really good. It has one actor in there that's really known. Peter Capaldi.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he plays a serial killer.
Okay.
That can like remember the future.
Okay.
And there's other person who has a gift to him who's trying to figure out what's going on with it.
Mm-hmm.
And since Capaldi's been around longer, he was messing with her.
Okay.
It's really good show. That's most I want to say about it because I don't want to spoil anything. It has some really good reveals. It's just one that's worth watching. It is a little bit longer episodes.
Okay.
It like a hour piece.
Okay.
Episodes, but really good. If you like Capaldi, you'll like the show.
Okay, cool.
He delivers in no matter what role he does.
Nice. So of the Doctor, I did watch that, and it wasn't the newest season because you said that's on AMC, right?
Yeah.
It's driving me crazy is that now you have to like add this and add, and I'm like, I'm done with that. My wife will buy into it, but I will not. And so I didn't watch the newest, but the one before it, I did watch on HBO Max, and that one was really good. I really enjoyed that one.
So yeah, did you already get spoiled about the newest one?
A little bit, yeah.
you know who the Doctor is? Did they spoil that for you?
I think I've seen who it is, like because they announced it and stuff, and all of the stuff.
Oh, you're not. Keep watching.
But I haven't seen.
I'll tell you. The person announced for the next Doctor is not the 14th Doctor.
Okay.
You'll like, or wait, 13th, right? Is it 13th?
I don't know. No, I at this point I've left.
I think it's for 14 is different from who you think is.
Okay.
So the regeneration go as well.
All right.
And it's pretty. I'm looking forward to it. Let's put it this way: you will even want to see the episode.
All right.
Because 60, and then I think part of the new mini-series they're doing is going to include the 60th anniversary episode.
Okay.
I think we'll have most of the modern Doctors in there.
Oh, sweet. I love that.
There's only one that's already been confirmed that's going to show up.
Yeah.
Tennant's there.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, they've the confirmed one so far is Tennant.
Nice.
And rumor mill had one of his companions is going to show up too. That's very popular.
Okay, nice.
Donna.
Awesome. Oh yeah.
That's the rumor right now.
Okay.
But I would probably say that's
okay.
From what I've seen, I could say it probably could be the case.
Nice.
But yeah, definitely watching the Doctor Who. Unfortunately, Jodie didn't have the best writers for her.
You know, it's crazy that you say that because to me, I feel like she had some of the best episodes that I've ever seen in Doctor Who. Like the Tesla one has to be hands down one of my favorite episodes of all time. Of all time. And then the other one, easily my favorite episode, those the Parks one. That one was phenomenal.
There's some good individual episodes.
Now overall, yes,
but like
there's issues.
There are arcs and like it was just like you're just trying to do gimmick.
Like the previous season, I was like, I'm like, I couldn't even. I was like, what even happened? I couldn't even be like, this happened, but I don't remember like any. I was, and then when the new season started, I was like, I don't. This doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? It just seemed like a mess. So yeah, and that, like I said, that's why I say it's crazy because there's certain episodes that stand out to me as the best, but the overall, but her seasons overall are like meh, So you're not wrong.
Yeah, like there are some individually well written episodes, but just overall wasn't good of a flow.
Yeah.
Like if you do a big overarching story, it needs a big overarching story. I think the best writer for Doctor Who coming back, so I think things are going to go in the best direction.
Okay.
The guy who wrote for Tennant Eccleston, is the head writer for Doctor Who.
Okay.
And his selection so far for characters has been like pretty solid. They got that blonde companion coming in. I can't ever remember her name, but he seems like she'll be a fun bit. And then they got the comedian guy coming in eventually too.
Okay.
He's a British black comedian. That's all I really know about him. But comedians, I was welcome in serious roles because the best roles performance you can see sometimes by someone who's not from a traditional point of view.
Yeah.
Like for Doctor Who, the third Doctor guy came from comedy.
Mm-hmm.
John Pertwee, and he's one of the doctors. And then if you Batman, Michael Keaton was completely comedy based.
Yeah.
He did Batman, and people were like, what?
Yeah.
He can do other things?
Everyone thought that Ledger could do Joker. No, he was comedy before, but I mean, actually, he did comedy kind of stuff.
Even the more serious Knight's Tale had a lot of comedy.
Yeah, it was 10 Things I Hate You, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah. But so Kenobi. You watch Kenobi.
Yeah.
Now, what did you think of Kenobi?
I thought it was a good series. I felt like the villain one was just off. Like it just didn't.
Reva.
I didn't think. I think they could have done a lot better with her writing wise.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the actress is to blame.
Yeah.
I really just blame the writing. But I feel with just about anything, if you know the writing's not there, you hide it under other things to get attention.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like the series was complaining about a lot. Like I feel like more than almost anything else.
Well, I think
Reva was the first one, and that was I feel like that more racial than it was anything else. Not to mention, they're like, oh, we hate her. Well, you're meant to not like her. She's not supposed to be a likable character from the get-go, right? And even then, like this is the first episode. People were complaining so hard. How about you watch the season, or you let it play out before you decide every single thing on this character and this series? As it went on, I feel like there's just more and more complaints. People complained about Leia running away. They're like, oh, I don't know how these trained people couldn't. Okay, you chase a little kid around in like a supermarket or like that, or no, now. Before having a kid, I would completely agreed with them. But having a kid, you know what? It is hard to be chasing a person who is small, go under stuff and around stuff, and you lose them. It really is easy to lose them, you know? And they're faster than you think. So to that complaint thrown out as well.
Yeah.
You know, people didn't like that little girl. I was like, I thought she was perfect. The other thing, which I will say was ridiculous, was when Kenobi was walking out with Leia in that jacket, and like that was ridiculous because he reminded me of Austin Powers. He's like on the shoulders of Minnie, you know, and like they look all ridiculous and they're like bumping in and stuff that look like. But when you think about it, because everyone's like, how did no notice that? Because it was meant to be a trap. It was meant to be a trap. Reva was, yeah, I let him go so that we could trap him and then just take him out there. You know, or actually, no, not to take him out, to get to the what was beginning to be the resistance, right? The rebels. And so it's meant to. It's like she had to order everyone to just be like, just play along with it because they're gonna let this little fish lead us to school of fish. You know?
Yeah.
And so that I was like, that's why that happened. Now, yes, once again, okay, she got stabbed, I think 2 lightsabers, or at least one in the stomach. But what did the guy that got stabbed in the stomach? And that was the other thing. The guy that got stabbed in the stomach, like they're like, how's he alive? This doesn't make sense. He's supposed to be in the series later, and it. Well, first of all, that species has 2 stomachs. It's kind of like having 2 hearts, right? Yeah. Or like if you have other, it's like, you know, like you know, Rogan, you know, in Mass Effect, it's like we have other things. You can take more damage. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So it's like he's done. Like oh yeah, they're not doing the research because he's supposed to be in the whole series and stuff. And it's like, how about you let the series finish? Let the series finish. You know. Now Reva, but even what Reva, like she got stabbed, and and what he said to her, revenge is a powerful motivator. Oh, she wants revenge. That's what's him, as well as the fact that he had another stomach. Why would he be able to save her?
Yeah.
Or at least not or prolong her life. You know what I mean?
Well, so it works. I mean, look at Darth Maul.
Right.
Like Darth Maul, that's all he lived. And then when he really and then finds out that everything he did just blew in his face anyways.
Right, and then just this joke. I'm so tired of seeing this stupid joke, these stupid memes all over Facebook. Oh, well, I didn't know that we could just recover from stomach stab wounds. Oh, why didn't you see from that? Like, whether it's in relation to the sequel trilogy or in relation to the or into this series. First of all, that's a power when you do energy transference.
Yeah.
Yes, you can do Jedi healing. That's different. And you can only do that to a certain degree. The thing is, as a Jedi, you're supposed to go, when it's my time. This is the will of the Force. This is how it's supposed to happen, right?
Yeah.
Because if you even go, okay, well, what if Qui-Gon didn't? What if Qui lived? And what if Obi-Wan died? Or what if they survived and they beat Maul? It wouldn't have happened how it was supposed to happen, because the light was in charge so long. It was meant to be an age of darkness, and then Anakin was meant to end that age with him, you know. Yeah. And obviously, as someone who's evil, you're going to try to stay alive, so you come up with other ways. Cloning. Yeah. His master tried to teach him how to prevent life, but he didn't master it. He learned it, but he didn't master it. So that was what trying to do. That's what the sequel trilogy should have been about. It should have followed the books in that sense, not entirely to a T, but to a certain aspect. That's why that whole is stupid. Oh yeah, somehow he returned. You could have just said, hey, his master teaching him this, and so he's trying to learn cloning technology. You know, it makes sense. You know, there's the cloning facility, and what he learned from his master. You know, 1 + 1 make 2. He didn't perfect her, right? Because he killed them both. You know, so. It's okay, buddy. It's okay. So he's gonna be funny. Look, he looks. So that drove me crazy, but that ending battle was so sick, and even more bothered by that. Like, oh, how come he didn't come off? Because he's done with that. He's done with that, and it's revealed so many times. Like in Rebels, it's revealed that Obi-Wan has a vision, and that's why he tells Maul. He fights him to the death, and he goes, "Someone's going to cycle." He knows. He knows. Maybe he didn't have it exactly that moment, but he was like, "That's it, I'm done." Like, that's the way of the J is not always the way of the lightsaber. It's peace. It should be nonviolence. You know.
Well, to be devil's advocate, his master lied with the his master Qui-Gon out the Jedis, but he was never really much of a Jedi. He always just served the Force.
Right.
So with that kind of powerful master training with him, some of those attributes are going to go up to him. He's going to still think he's a Jedi, but instinctively he's going to serve the Force to a degree as well.
Right. I think another big that I had, because to me the show wasn't called Obi-Wan Kenobi, it was just called Kenobi. So when people said this isn't Obi-Wan, yeah, it's not. It's Kenobi. It's Kenobi. He's not himself. He's cut himself off pretty much like what Luke did, right?
Yeah.
He cut himself completely because his apprentice could fight him in the Force. If he didn't completely cut him off.
Why do you think he hid where he hid?
Exactly.
To mask his Force presence.
And he hates sand. Wants to go back to their home planet where it was their entire misery. That's the biggest thing that started him on the dark path.
Yeah.
You know, people, it's obvious. But he hates sand, and he hated that. Why? So it only makes sense. Go to the place that this person hates the most.
And plus, you have a place to be able to look after Luke as well.
You know, and then the whole dragging him through the fire, and then they're like, why didn't he just kill him? He wants to torture him the way that he wants to hurt him the way he hurt him. Right?
Yeah.
He's a Sith now. He's about revenge. He's about these things. And even he didn't realize until the end, I have to be with that as well. Well, I would love to see a Vader series now. and just his point, like the darkness, just the full dark journey, that to get that insight to him. And I know, I understand that both, the other trilogies were pretty much about him, but I want to get in his head. We've never seen that. You know what I mean? We've seen when he was good and in his fall. We've seen him when he was bad, and his return, but we've never been inside his head like the comic series, like that stuff. So that's I love that. Have you seen Andor?
Not yet.
Oh, and see,
it's really good.
Brilliant. I feel that's a show that also shows what our society too. Like that's kind of like what we need in this day and age. I loved it. I think Andor's the best thing ever. I like even better than Mandalorian, but maybe that's just me.
Well, I like Mandalorian until Boba Fett happened, because I was like that's just plain dirty for both shows.
Yeah,
what they did there.
It was,
and like I doesn't believe me. I'm like, if you watch the third season, you have to watch
Boba Fett,
the book of Boba Fett, or you're lost. Like literally, the whole episode with him in it.
Yeah, like even
was a waste.
Boba Fett, I'm like it could have been better. I hate it, but I feel like it could have been more Boba Fett and less Mandalorian, and just more Boba Fett. So I mean that's yeah. Tell me about House of the Dragon.
So I gotta be brutal here. It's not a bad show, but like a lot of what they did points to signs of not being able to write what they have in front of them.
Okay.
Like one of the things that irked me the most was like so there's 3 different time skips. So first freaking season. That's ridiculous.
Right.
You shouldn't have that many time skips.
Yeah.
And basically like the showrunner even admitted it in like one of the special features, because sometimes I didn't have time to turn them off. Or I was doing sometimes some work. So he said, "Oh well, we did this time skip so we could get boys an older age, so they're easier to write."
Mm-hmm.
I was like, really? You just admitted that you couldn't write for them at that point?
Yeah.
And then so it's all stuff that's mentioned in the books, but not completely covered.
Okay.
The time period of the series, but it's really bad. Like they turned like turning point of the Civil War to a oops moment. It's like no, there's no oops moment. Like if you even look at the American Civil War, was John raiding the weapons armory an oops moment? No, it was a factor that, with many other things that caused it to happen. But if he didn't do it, it would have happened one way or another.
Yeah.
To make it like the whole thing depend on accidental moments seems kind of far-fetched and silly.
Yeah, I didn't watch it because of the way that the previous season, or the season ended of the previous show. People ask me, why didn't you watch it, or are you going to watch it? How come you're not going to? And this is one explanation. I did so much time and energy into that show, and it was good for long. It felt like a relationship where I was in a good relationship, right, with this girl, and it was going great. But then it seemed like, like the second to last year, she started to lose interest, and then the last year,
she drained your bank account.
She drained my bank account. And then I found out she was cheating. Right?
Cheated on you, your car.
Right, she broke my heart. She broke my heart. And I go, why am I going to go back to that girl? Because this worked on herself. She says, I'm not going to do the same thing to you. I'm different this time. And I go, you know what? If it's meant to be, we'll wait 10 years down the road. We're both old folks. And if we're not with people, if it's meant to be, then we'll get back to it. And that's when the show's over and I've heard that go to crap. then I'll watch it. Until then, I'm not dedicating any more of my time just to be disappointed. That's my feeling now. I'm people all they want. I'm glad that you did because you could cut it, but that's why I won't watch it.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it. It's not a bad show, but like the thing should have been done a lot differently.
Oh yeah.
Too many. I hate it when there's many time skips. You know, one character should not be portrayed 3 separate actresses. There's actually 2 characters that were portrayed that way.
Yeah.
Then it gets even more awkward. You got like Matt Smith there.
Yeah.
The whole time.
Aging it all.
Not aging, but that they're playing around with his hair because you gotta play with Matt.
You gotta do something.
Yeah, make him look like time is
different. Right. So, Peacemaker.
Oh, strong buy.
It was a blast.
It was great.
It's ridiculous. It's fun. It was. Here's the thing. I watched all of it. I will say, like, the ending was a little cluster. Like, I kind of lost interest, or was like, I wasn't fully invested in the characters, and so I didn't care if they died. Now it was cool the ending, you know, and stuff, and I liked what they did. Kind of weird that they did what they did, considering the fact that James Gunn is doing what he's doing. But it was still pretty solid, and I want to continue Peacemaker.
They say they're gonna have a second season.
Okay.
But yeah, that cameo at the end was great.
It was.
I couldn't believe actually got. It's funny they already finished filming Peacemaker when they had the availability to do that scene.
Yeah.
But Disney needed something beforehand, and so when you saw the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 trailer when it came out, it was actually Peacemaker through them parts of that trailer.
Oh, really?
Then when you moved on to Volume 3, they filmed cameo.
Oh, no way.
Peacemaker as well.
Nice.
So that was fun to see studios cooperate with each other.
That's cool. Yeah. It kind of felt like a live action cartoon in a sense, you know, because it was just so crazy.
Oh, all the characters were really well done on this show. Like the one they love the most.
Oh yeah.
The guy who dyed beard.
Or yeah.
His art, his development was really good. Like I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Like, it was clever. Like they didn't just do the generic character builder. They like forced him to address this issue in the most awkward possible.
Yeah. It was crazy. It was crazy. Now also hilarious. Harley season 3.
Oh my gosh.
Nightwing was my favorite. I was like, he's the best. He's the best. Overall, I feel like this season wasn't as strong as the previous one. I feel like they do things that haven't even done in the comic. Like, this is really smart and this is really cool and I like this idea. And they should do this in the comics or in a movie or something. I like that they do stuff like that. Really cool. So, well, but overall, it was still pretty good.
The Clayface arc was great.
Oh, Clayface, he's hilarious.
Clayface is the idea of Clayface's characters are so well done. Completely goes against the comics, but it's so good. It's like, you know what? A guy who can turn into people who's made of clay can be a Shakespearean actor.
Yeah.
And then they had James Gunn show up on there too.
Oh yeah.
But I think my favorite was the twist with Harley and Batman, where she finds things out, but her reason for not telling anyone is she.
I love the stuff they're doing with Joker too. It's like so unique, you know. It's hilarious.
Oh, I like it. They're all we hate you. It's not a bad idea. It's always saying something like that.
Yeah,
but then going back to it.
Yeah, it was good times.
Yeah.
Then Titan season 4 was pretty solid. It feels like only half of a season though. Part 1. It's only 6 episodes, which to me doesn't like a full season. And it really just felt like the build to It feels like brother blood. It's done really well though, and I feel like in a way that I haven't seen before, and I really like that. I like how it feels like it kind of feels like a grown up gritty version of the Teen Titans cartoon in it. Like certain aspects. And I really like. I love Nightwing, of course, and I'm like a new trainee. I'll say, but it's pretty good. I'm liking it. And I like the things they're doing with even Superboy, because I feel like something that wasn't touched on should have been. Like they do a little bit, and I liked how they're doing it in this, because it's a little dark, and I like it. And I mean, she just goes to, so yeah. Then I Am Groot was just like a random compilation of like cartoon of Groot. It's just like these shirts. It's cute, It's like they're shorts. Now, Miss Marvel, I personally loved Miss Marvel. I feel like it actually did some things better than the books, where it's like times where like they didn't know where to go with books. They so kind of stagnated. This one was like kind of like summed it up in a sense,
Yeah, they did a lot of really good things. I think I really didn't like was just a minor complaint.
Yeah.
I didn't like the whole bracelet. I wish they could have just done our thing, but I like how they referenced that she's a mutant, and even though it would have been nice to be Inhuman, but at least they mentioned.
Well, Inhumans are still mutants, but they're mutated because of Creed.
Yeah.
So it's not she's a mutant isn't saying that she's not a human. They would do that later, and they've already introduced.
Well, they
somebody else that's Inhuman. So it's like, well, it doesn't mean they're doing that.
Yeah.
So I think they're just trying to get the name recognition out there too slowly, as they've done with other shows. But I loved it. I can understand not being for everybody, and that's fine because it's a completely different style. It does seem like it's going more toward a younger audience. I loved the energy of it, like the playness of it. I thought it was a blast. I'd be down for seeing more. It's fine if they don't do another season, if just put her in movies. I think it really worked. I loved it.
Well, Ms. Marvel did have an ulterior motive. Well, they gotta rectify Captain Marvel somehow.
Yeah.
So they play a fun character with really good side characters. Like all the cast is like well done. You develop it well, and now you have this sequel to Marvel where you got a lackluster main character, but now you can throw her in there, and then you can throw this one from WandaVision in there too.
Yeah.
That where you're like, okay, it has these decent characters. I'm not going to see it for Brie Larson. I'll see it for everyone else.
So
they have those other two being Marvels as well.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to the Marvels because of her, as well as what's it, Spectrum, or like whatever name she's gonna be going by. Yeah, different ones. So
the character we've met in Division.
Yeah. So, now me personally, I won't say I disliked Moon Knight. I just felt like it was super slow. My wife lost interest. Like, my wife did not watch Miss Marvel. I don't think she did.
I got like 3 episodes in the Moon Knight, lost interest.
Right. My wife lost interest almost right away. And she saw Oscar Isaac. I like Oscar Isaac. In fact, I didn't even know that he was Latinx until an SNL and said that he was. And I was like, oh, it's awesome. And so, it wasn't until like halfway through that it finally picking up, until like the end of the season, where I was like, I want another season. I was like, it really should have started at halfway point, and then where it ended should, you know what I mean? It was just too slow, and I like what they did once it picked up speed. I like what they did even out, but it was just too slow. But even like the fighting, just like it had no power. It looked cool. There's no weight to it. I didn't care much. Even like the final battle, it was like okay, what is supposed to be epic, but it doesn't feel as epic as it's supposed to be. I didn't like what's his name as the villain either. Something Hunt or whatever. I've never been a big fan of him anyways, but I don't think he's horrible. He's fine, but I just it was warm, like it just felt. Yeah. I was like, man, I'll see season 2. Overall of that season, it was okay. Now the biggest one, did you watch She-Hulk? Okay. You watched the whole thing.
I watched the whole thing.
What did you think?
It wasn't for me.
Okay.
I think it was completely bad. It wasn't for me, but like, I think what actually completely killed it was the Kevin Feige part.
Oh, the Kevin. Okay.
Yeah, that was like, oh, come on.
See, and I thought
just like completely. It took me so much out of the show when I got back in. I just wasn't done. I wasn't really care much. It was like, well, you just proved to me that anything in here doesn't matter. Well, I'm just not. I'm not as best in it.
Right.
And really, my favorite part of the whole series was a guy in yellow.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. Once again, I don't feel they don't care. I think they're I won't say they don't care, but they're reaching out, doing different things. Even the Black Widow movie should have been a spot thriller. Instead, it just felt like another action superhero movie. Now I feel like they're trying to target specific genres, and they're going, "Hey, we're gonna go try to teen bop, like story, like okay, we're gonna try to do the gritty, mystery thing with Night, psychological thriller, right? And with this one, it's like, hey, this is, I have not. Like I keep on posting stuff on our Facebook because it gets the most reaction to people. It gets the most. It's almost all dudes that are speaking negatively about it. I rarely see females talk negatively about this show. In fact, it's mostly that like this show. My wife, she enjoyed this show the most. She was like, it's funny, it's enjoyable. It talks about a lot of the stuff that isn't taught out that are issues. And I know a lot of people go, oh, well, Hulk's weak, and that's what he says about like, oh yeah, I've been chastised my whole life just because I'm a female, and that's why I can handle it better and whatever. And then in the second episode or third, she's working, so it does what she said. It doesn't do what she said. Look, if I'm with my favorite artist and they tell me to do something or ask me to do something or whatever that is, as ridiculous it is, if I'm at work even doing it, I'm doing it. Bench sevenfold show up at my work and they want me to be like, oh, some of this thing, make myself look like an idiot. I'm doing it, because that's what I'm going to do. And it doesn't undo me saying, hey, I want respect, or from people about certain things, at work. It doesn't. Hulk wasn't trying to mess up, okay, in that first episode. And not only that, this show did have an arc. It had a character arc of her saying, well, I'm better because of all these things, and then show that she really wasn't. She really wasn't better. And she has to go through that same hero journey because she hasn't been through the full hero's journey yet. And they just showed a very small aspect. Hey, you think you're better? Or not. There's certain aspects about you that are better. So you're a human with flaws just like everybody else. That's what they really showed through this show. Now the ending, I'm completely agree. Completely lackluster. Now I don't think that they should have gone with that bad guy that they kind of joked about. I think that would have made it really stupid and very generic. I liked that they did what they did, but I would have done it in the courtroom. I wish they would have showed how better and how she won in the courtroom beat that dude. Instead, they just made it a real quick thing. Yeah. That's what they should have done. And I've heard like, oh yeah, it wasn't the best writing. I will say it wasn't the best CG either. The CGI bugged the whole time. I said it's off the way. But you know what? I also understand that budgets for shows and just their movies completely different. And I think that's why Armor Wars, Don Cheadle was out of contract. If you make me do a show that looks like She-Hulk versus doing a movie that's going to look like any of the movies that I've already been in, I'm not doing it. And I think that's why they changed Armor Wars. And guess what? If she goes up as a new Avenger, she's gonna look great in those movies because the budget is different. You have to realize expectations can be different.
Well, they made some mistakes with like just some simple mistakes. Look at the past to see what works. Like, if you know that the CGI isn't going to look good, even like the type of muscle suits they have out right now, wearing a muscle suit in color green, it's fantastic,
right?
And it would have been completely cheap and low budget, like some of the stuff they've done with makeup artists is incredible. Let them do their thing.
Oh yeah, I've seen this guy on TikTok. Cheaper. Yeah, I've seen this guy on TikTok, and he does builds. Try to CGI and real stuff. That's why Iron Man. How long ago was that made? It looks phenomenal. Good real builds with CGI to do like little tails. Phenomenal. And how long ago was that? You tell us you can't do the same. We've seen people do it on TikTok. You see there's people on YouTube. Don't tell me it can't be done on the cheap. Don't that, because we see people do it on the cheap all over social media. It can be done.
Yeah,
you just got to find the right.
Even Zack Snyder has a rule he does when he's filming something. Anything that's touched by the person can't be CGI. It needs to be real, or it's going to just completely remove the person from the experience. And they notice that in all his movies.
Yeah,
everything that's touched, he won't CGI. He watched 300. The weapons not CGI because he wants it to look real and be in the story.
Yeah. I will say Hulk's kid looked pretty dumb too. Like that, they did him wrong. He looked doofy. But overall, I think the show wasn't bad. It was okay. It could have been better. I think it's going to get a season. We'll see if they do get a season 2. I think they should make it more lawyer show. Like get some lawyer writers in there and focus on the lawyering. You know, instead of that.
Like why did Daredevil have more lawyer scenes than she?
Yes, and that's the thing is the Daredevil. I've been scared this whole time. I was scared about Daredevil the whole time, and then I saw the episode with Daredevil, and I said, I'm not scared anymore. They did just as good, if not better, with Daredevil in that one episode as they did with the Netflix shows. I was like, I'm sold on his shows. I'm sold. So yeah, Wolf by Night. Did you see it?
No.
Superb. Once again, going into like a noir genre type stuff. It looks old. It's black and white. It's noir. And I don't want to ruin it for you, but phenomenal. You have to see it. And it's darker. It's clear. Like I said, noir. Perfect. They're going for specific genres. They're breaking that mold, and it's brilliant. And I love it.
My complaint is, I had to see the Marvel shows to know it was out. That's not acceptable. Disney better. If you want someone to watch it, you need to
promote it better.
Market it. It was not marketed at all, and that's why I kind of overlooked when it had its run.
I don't know. Maybe they were scared. They're starting to dip their toes in waters that are unfamiliar.
Wow.
But that thing is when you give people creative freedom and you let them do what they're best. I think they knock it out of the water.
Well, and I looked at a chart of all the streaming services. The scary part is Netflix is like cutting them back all this stuff. But if you look at the chart, there's only one streaming service that's black. All the others are in the red, and the one that's furthest ahead is Disney Plus.
Yeah,
because they've been pumping much money into it. Okay. Netflix, the only one that's actually a profitable streaming service. Of the main ones right now.
They've been around the longest.
Yeah.
So they have, I won't say an unfair advantage, but they have that advantage.
They have advantage, but they also know the budgeting a lot better than anyone else. And that's what's really helped them out. Because they know how they can make money. Disney doesn't really know, and Disney throws a lot of money in something, and then they realize trouble, and then cut back, and then go back and forth with it because they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, I agree. Have you seen Guardians of the Galaxy special?
Yeah, that one was really funny.
Hilarious, so good. It was short, sweet, to point, perfect. I absolutely loved it. It was phenomenal. It was a blast. You know what wasn't us? Morbius. That was a bummer. I didn't finish it. I finish it, but it's a drudgery.
I'll be honest. Just from the trailers, I didn't really have interest.
Yeah, it is so bad.
It looked pretty.
It's so awful. Yeah, it is. It is supremely bad. What did you feel about the Batman?
Very mixed feelings about it.
You're right. Yeah, me too.
It has some parts, but you know, when it comes down to it, just say you're fucking Batman.
Right. Yes.
The I'm Vengeance and stuff got old real quick.
Right. Yes.
It was, and then Riddler. What is so hard about having actual good Riddler story and using advantages? There are plenty of things you can go off of. Like some of the best graphic novels out there have the Riddler involved.
Oh yeah.
So why can't you use him?
Mm-hmm.
Or even the video games did more justice to the Riddler.
Oh yeah. For
like, especially like Arkham Knight, he gets like pretty messed up in there.
Oh yeah.
Did you finish Arkham Knight?
I have not finished. No.
But basically, he's like you're your own mind, Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else who's with you, I'm gonna mess around with. And so basically, he realizes who is Batman more interested in than anyone else? Catwoman.
Mm.
So who am I gonna drag into the mud with all this? Catwoman. Really well done. It's just the Batman movie would, but
right.
A lot of things could have been done.
Right, exactly what you said. Exactly what you said. To me, he's just like emo man when they music and then he's like, screw you, Alfred, you're my real dad, whatever. Has his face and like, you know, there's certain aspects that they highlighted that I feel like they did better than anything else. He protects children, you know.
Yeah.
Like that was really cool. And the Selena Kyle, I feel like she did a really good job. There are certain aspects of that was really cool. But like you said, I'm vengeance and stuff. It's like, are you new at this or are you not new at this? Because there's times where you pretend like you act like you've been doing this a while, but then you're calling yourself vengeance. Like are you Batman or are you not Batman? You know what I mean? Like have you proclaimed yourself as Batman or not yet? It was so confusing to go, are you year one Batman? Or are you year two Batman? Like are you year five Batman? Like I'm like, I don't know where at because it jumps around such that I wasn't sure where it was at. And like, what's his name? The commissioner. Like I feel like he better Batman voice most of that movie than Batman. You know, like
yeah.
And at the same time, I saw him without his gear. I was like, he don't look jacked. Like I want to see a jacked Batman. And the same that I want to see a jacked Superman. You know, like I want to see a dude that looks on par. You know, and he wasn't there. And
like
to me, that was weak.
Even Christian Bale looked built.
Oh yeah,
but he was a terrible Bruce Wayne, but at least he the part.
I don't feel like it was a terrible Bruce Wayne because he pretended to be the playboy in public.
Yeah.
This guy, in this, they didn't care to show that. I think because he's so new, maybe he'll get to that point. And again, they don't give a good enough idea of where are you at in this. Are you year one? Because if you're year one, how come you're saying these things like you've been doing them for so long? You know what I mean? Like it was just so weird to me. The actors were good. The actors were all fantastic, and they did a great job. They knocked it out of the park. Especially Penguin. You know, the vehicles looked cool. Stuff looked cool. You know, but it was that continue to be that same idea of like, where is this in the timeline? Especially when I saw that clip of Joker, I was like, which hopefully they throw away. They're like, oh, he's already dealt with Joker. It's like that does sense, and that Joker's in Arkham. And I'm like that doesn't make sense. And like even Riddler, it looked like more of like a hush out, you know, like the way that it was done is I don't know. I was not impressed with like Riddler too much. like once again, you said like all these riddles stuff, they were kind of weak, and they could have just done them way better and stuff. I don't know. It just it just blows my mind that people this is the greatest Batman ever, and I'm really this is the greatest Batman movie. You think so?
No, I would say
I think it
Batman Begins ends or the Michael Keaton one.
I it's generational though too. I think it might be like generation it's Michael Keaton, a certain generation, and it's Bale, and in a certain people it is now this guy. So
because I can't give it to the Dark Knight. Dark Knight is a wonderful movie, but it's so wonderful because of Heath Ledger.
I
think if you take his performance out, it takes away a lot of what's within the movie.
So, but so I feel like not bad, not the greatest, whatever. You see Prey?
No.
Okay, see that's another thing.
Prey?
Yeah,
Is that the?
That's the Predator movie that was on Hulu.
Yeah.
Okay, see once again, that's another movie that you're not even sure what it is. It wasn't promoted that well.
It was actually.
It could have been a theatrical release.
It could have been. It was enjoyable.
It was good.
It was probably the best Predator movie since the first Predator. Because I'm going to be honest, the Predator movie since the first Predator has kind of sucked.
Yeah. Kind of.
Like the Predators, but this one was a lot cooler.
I feel like the character arc could have been better in Prey, but it was still it was a solid movie. It was solid. I like this idea of dropping them in different eras and instead but yeah, it was Prey was pretty solid overall though. Yeah, sweet. Moving Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. I don't know why I didn't see this DS Mom. Which tells you who the villain is when you look at the acronym, because I didn't, the way that they promoted that movie, I didn't think it would be her as the villain, and it shouldn't have necessarily been her as the villain.
I feel if they were going to go that route, they should have done WandaVision differently, because like the end of the Vision compared to the beginning of it. Compared to where she is now, doesn't really flow at all.
Well, see, that's the problem with the movie is that they didn't make it not a character thing. It's not a character growth thing, lack thereof. It's not a repeating either. Because if they would have they would have made it very apparent that she's not doing what she's doing because she wants her kids. She's doing it because of the Darkhold. And once again, Sam Raimi said, hey, this was an easy thing to get because it was already set up. Yeah, it was already set up. So why did you drop the ball and they set up Mordo to be the and you didn't pick up that ball? Because it was set up. Because if you set up Mordo as the villain and then had him control Wanda and say, hey, give me the real hold. I'm holding your kids hostage. Now she's not only she's controlled by the Darkhold. She also has a motion for being evil, right?
Yeah.
He has her kids, right? That because you remember at the end of WandaVision, they were screaming for help. They weren't kids in another universe that already had a mom, right?
Yeah.
So if they were the exact kids, but trapped in another universe that he had to save, but Mordo got them, and he's holding them hostage, and he's like, get me the actual Darkhold. But once again, if they would have made it apparent that she's only evil because of the Darkhold hold on, right?
Yeah.
But it's not the actual Darkhold. So if they would have gotten, hey, now the Dark consumes Mordo, and then they all team up against him, that would have been the right. Oh, or if you want to make her the villain, that's fine. But you need to make her evil the whole way through. That dark image of her, then she snaps the neck. That should have been her. That's what she should look like the whole movie. Where not, hey, maybe her fingers are just dark at first, but starts going up her arms, and it starts crawling up, and then over her face, where the Darkhold has taken a hold by the end of that movie, and that's why she continues to get more dark, more right. That would have made it make sense because you're not wrong. Her by the end of that movie, why is she doing something so similar? Because Darkhold. That's why. You didn't do a good job, Raimi, of conveying that. Should have made her look evil the whole way, just progressively more evil the whole way. You didn't do a good enough job of that, and that's where that movie dropped the ball. Also, like to see Vision save her at the end, like fly in and as it was, and maybe because there were red poof, and know what that red poof was when it collapsed on her. That could be Agatha. That could because it looked like Mac. You know, it makes sense since the Vision could get her and make her intangible the way he is, and boom, that's how you get her out of that. That would have made sense. Once again, things that are already set up that Raimi completely dropped the ball on. Why didn't you put those balls, dude? So it wasn't a bad movie. It could have been better. It could have been great, but it was okay.
Yeah.
So that's how I feel about Thor and Thunder.
I wanted to like it. We were watching the movie, my wife and I.
Mm-hmm.
She said, this is too boring, and just like went off the bed.
Yeah.
It just wasn't like I wanted to like it, but it just wasn't for me.
A lot of people. I don't know if numbers speak, right? Didn't get a lot of return views. A lot of bad was said about it. A lot of people didn't like it. They were like, it's not dark enough. It should have been dark. It's like, at a certain point, it should just turn. It should have taken a dark turn. It was too fun. It was too. It had a lot of that Teen Titans Go energy to me, which is like kiddish and stupid, right?
Yeah.
Now I've read those comics. I feel like they should have done the nose. That pissed me that they didn't, because it would have been, we didn't want him to look like Voldemort. Okay, you wanted him to look like every other human? Like, we haven't seen humans in every single thing or ever in any humanoid person? So what, we're going to confuse him with any other humanoid person? That's the thought process? No, you were being lazy and didn't want to have to put Christian Bale through the makeup. That's what it is. The actors are getting to the makeup process, and you've been lazy. It's like, okay, CGI then, do something. Like that was just lazy. They could have made it darker, yes. I had a blast. I thought it was really funny. I even watched it because I saw it with Slay. We saw it in theaters for my birthday. No, that was Mom. But we did watch that together. We both enjoyed it a lot. I watched it again with my wife. I will say a lot of the jokes kind of felt, some stuff's funnier. But if it's not, overall though, rewatch, I still enjoy. What I enjoyed the most was the ending, and what I'm enjoying the most about this phase is that it's not about kids anymore. I mean, some stuff is about kids. It's about having kids. It's about growing up. It's about moving on to the next stage in your life, and that's what I could relate to in Vision. In so many aspects in DS Mom. Like the part where the kid's scared of her because she's yelling at them, and they get terrified. Dude, that hurt. That's straight deep, dude. To me, that was the best part of the movie, because it cut deep in my parenting, and stuff. Like, hey, you can't be doing that. It does. You don't know how you're scarring your kids, And then even like with Love and Thunder, his daughter's like, I don't want to wear that. I don't like that anymore. I don't like cakes anymore. They flip flop all the time, like they do this one day and the next day they don't. Change their mind from 1 minute to another. It's funny and annoying all at the same time, So yeah, but I understand why people, to a degree, when people like it. It should have been darker. It should have been better. It wasn't. So, now Black Panther, Wakanda Forever.
That was a really good movie. I liked it for the most part. I would have liked Neymar to be Atlantean. I just feel like they only changed it because they wanted to be different from Aquaman, which I feel like is an excuse. It's like, really, if you want to be different from Aquaman, show us how much cooler Neymar is than Aquaman.
Mm-hmm.
Don't just go, well, we're gonna just completely change the area because we can't compete with that.
I don't know if it's that they can't compete with that, because yeah, it did, but it wasn't like mind blowing. It wasn't the greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
Obviously it warranted a second movie. It's a sequel, and we'll see how that turns out.
I mean, it sold well, but that doesn't mean you have to away from there.
I was scared. I was scared that they changed Tim to a Hispanic person, to a Latinx, whatever you want to say, brown person. I was scared. I was worried that they were going to try to kind of, and they did do that, but it wasn't done in a negative way where it was like, oh, it's black people versus brown people. That's what we're doing. Now it's a race between these two, that's exactly what the people want. Let's get them fighting and focusing on the bad stuff they've done to both of them. But instead it was that exact thing, which was, look at how these two cultures diverge. A what if, when it isn't a negative white influence, right? Like how it could have turned this way. I mean, because you look at histories, yeah, did both those people fight amongst each other? Did the tribes war against each other? Yeah, they did. But guess what? They didn't decimate each other. They didn't do that with disease. You know what I mean? They weren't demolished. There wasn't just mass genocide going on. You know what I mean? Like, they were enslaving each other, like just entirely. There wasn't that going on. So yeah, of course there's bad things. There's all bad things. It's history, there's always, but like it wasn't to the degree, right? And so that's what I loved, that idea, like the way they actually did it, and it wasn't Namor, or it's Namor, right? It's completely different. And I bugged me too, dude. I'm a hardcore comic book guy. It bugged me. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this, because same thing. Show how he's cooler, how he, not even necessarily cooler, but different. How he's different from, because they have a different thing going on,
Yeah, like Namor's always been completely different from
his personality is hugely different. He's always been a jerk, but like he's for his people,
Yeah.
In fact, anything, I would say he's more similar to Black Adam, in that respect, right?
Yeah.
Which he's willing to do anything for his. He's not a hero, but he's willing to protect his people at any means. But I did like the movie a lot. In fact, I feel like what they did for black people in the first movie, they did for brown people in this movie. They did for what they did for Chadwick Boseman's character, they did for Shuri in this. And I know people go like, oh yeah, but she's a female. It doesn't make sense. She can go against Namor. They made it work because she used this herb, right? She used his herb. That's why they were on par. That's how, because to me, and I will, it would have been cool as heck to see M'Baku as the leader of Wakanda, because he's so poised, and I love his he really brings it. I feel like he's every scene he's in. The actor.
Well, that, and he's not the most educated person there, but he doesn't need to be. He uses comments
right
as his ally. Like his advice to her was never bad. It was just, this is how it is.
Right.
Instead of you're just wrong. It's like,
right.
No, that's just how it is.
Right. She was going off emotions, and so those why he's the better leader of Wakanda.
Yeah.
But the way the story works out, it makes sense that because she was it was an experiment on. She didn't want to kill anybody else, but she was willing to risk for herself, right?
Yeah.
And it worked, and that's why she's what she is. And then in the end, they go like, oh, he didn't challenge, whatever. It would have been cool to see him in his own suit, whether it be a gorilla suit or a Black Panther suit, wreck dudes, especially if he had the herb, right? Like, that was so cool, to see. But the way that the story plays out, they went based off the comics, and people go, I can't buy into that. The little girl can do that, and that she's the better leader. Look, they did it in the comics. They're just following the comics, okay? They're following the comics. It happened. Yeah. Oh well, those guys didn't sell well. It's like, but they did it well. Movie. They did it so well. Movie. In fact, when you see the movie, and then you hear how the original was and why it had to be changed. It makes sense why they did what they did, but especially considering ending, you go, they're setting up for another T'Challa. They're playing the long game, but he's gonna earn in a way.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that dude, once again, the child, dude, that touched my heart so deeply, that I was like, oh my God, once again, with these elements, dude, it just it hit me in ways where I feel like it's growing up with me, and so that's what I love about it. And so I think that was the best movie by far. I feel like the Panther movies transcend the superhero genre because incorporate so much elements of history, and they put so much work into it, that they make it make sense. It was really cool. Something else that's elements from literally everything else. Black Adam. I feel like that was just a giant ripoff of.
Actually, I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, you haven't? But it felt. I mean, I'd heard that it was a ripoff of other superhero movies, like a ripoff of Captain America, like first Captain America movie, or ripoff of these movies with the clever parts. Like it was the actor didn't rip off the character of Doctor Strange, but the visual ripped off straight from Doctor Strange, right? So like, there's so many aspects that they're just a complete riff of it. Now it's not a bad movie, but it's not a great movie. So it's like what's The Rock was like, he compared it to Captain America or any of the origin movies. He's like, compare the numbers, compare it to those. That's fair. Don't compare Black Panther to a sequel, and whatever. Yeah, that's fair. But now with everything that's going on, Gunn's taking over. He's washing it new. It hurts me that they're not using a lot of actors, because I feel like a lot of that cast was really good. I did like Batfleck. I thought he was good. He didn't get the right story. They shouldn't have done BVS. They should have done a Batman movie first.
Yeah.
They should have done a Superman sequel.
Yeah.
Where it didn't have to be Man of Steel 2. It could have been called Superman. Or it could have been The Man of Tomorrow. Something else goes, hey, that was a prequel movie. This is his movie now. He is who he's supposed to be. Let's show it how good he is. They showed elements in BVS, but that movie was crappy, to be honest.
What would be a great movie title?
Huh.
Clark Kent. They had it. Like that's all you have to do. And then people know, oh, this is where, okay.
Yeah, they could have done that and focused on that. I feel like that's what was the least good part of his character. A lot of people go, Christopher Reeve's a way better Superman because his Clark Kent was the way he's written in the comic.
Wow.
He looks the part. He plays the part.
Close. He was off. Reeve with Clark, but not that far off.
So I just feel like physically you're not going to find somebody as Henry Cavill. Like, somebody that looks the part with the shirt off. I don't feel like you're going to find someone aspect as good. I just don't think you're going to. Same thing. If you don't Gadot or Gal Gadot, whatever, I don't think you're going to find someone that's going to be as good as her, because that accent, I feel like that's, to me, in my mind, that's that area. I don't, sure, you might find someone that's maybe more muscular, more busty or whatever, but we'll see. But at this time, I think I feel like he's making somewhat of a misstep, but we'll see. I don't know yet. At the same time, I hate the people that are saying, hey, restore the Snyderverse and you should have left it to him. You know what? I don't even think Zack Snyder cares about restoring Snyderverse. He wants to do his own zombie verse on Netflix. He's over it. And you know what? He had his chance. He screwed it up with BVS. And even his Justice League, what he had done, so overrated. So overrated. It's like, if you have to turn a 2-hour movie into a 4-hour movie, sorry, not that good of a storyteller. Sorry. Like, I'm saying Joss Whedon's better than you, but I am, because he did it in Avengers. And yeah, there's build-up movies. And yeah, we've also seen Age of Ultron. Okay.
Yeah,
everyone has missteps.
Joss Whedon.
But I mean, like I said, I could put up majority Marvel movies, even the worst Marvel movies, to BVS, and it's still better than BVS. Yes. I would rather watch Marvel than watch this. I would rather watch Thor 2, Thor 3, Thor Love and Thunder than BVS. Because there's so many elements of the movie where I'm like, this is awful. This is such a misstep to just jump straight to, hey, we're doing those two. I was down the road, would have been great, but at that point, so dumb. He ruined it for himself. He ruined himself. So I'm fine with Gunn taking over and see what Gunn can do. I just think Gunn is going to do, because he's going to keep the Suicide Squad is like, I don't know how you can keep some. That's too confusing. Like, clean slate, we'll see. Any young Superman, I'm like, Superman, but it's a clean slate, so we'll see.
Well, I think the best thing you could do with something like that is keep it on and just be honest about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as long as he does,
he has been.
He's gonna be fine. Like, maybe he might want to keep Gal Gadot because she's a phenomenal actress, and
as that character.
Well, that you really can't compete with someone else. She actually was in the military, so she actually does know how to fight.
Right.
And just like any military, like, what's known to the world as one of the roughest military and strongest militaries and most fierce militaries in the world. Mm-hmm. The Israeli military is terror. People don't want to face them, which is kind of weird. With if you see the size of the country,
yeah,
it's smaller than some cities in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, military's on par and terrifying.
Yeah.
So having someone like that playing Wonder Woman works really well.
Yeah. I heard Marvel, or not really Marvel, but Disney with Bob Iger coming back. He's going to make some restructuring. I heard they're going to focus on quality, not quantity. I'm happy about that. I'm pushing stuff back, but we'll see.
You know why I call bullshit on it?
Huh?
Think of it. Did the other CEO, all the stuff we've seen that they rationalized are the other CEO, was all started with who?
Him?
Bob Iger.
Okay.
So it's like you really doing a change here? No, really.
We'll see.
I think it's all just the game right now. They're having a placeholder to like put someone else in.
Right.
Like, I think they just, because some of Bob Iger's more recent stuff came to fruition and did terrible. Let's put it that way.
Right.
That they're gonna have him there because he has a positive, because people think positive of him. Really, people will need to reach more, realize they're getting the same, or probably just that.
Yeah.
You put the guy who planned all the best stuff back in charge.
Right.
And so the guy who kind of got there, stuff was already laid out.
Yeah, I just frustrated with people that are going, this phase is garbage. This phase 4 to phase 1. That's more fair. It has the advantage of all the build up from it. So the thing is, you've killed off a lot of characters, but you have to do it. It's a rebuilding stage. They're introducing new characters. So you have some of the old characters, most of them are gone. So I feel like it's more passing the torch type of stuff. So you need to give it time to build. I think it's going to be hugely changed once we see. I think after Quantumania, I think that's going to be a big thing right there, because that's when it hits there. It's gonna be a very clear view of what they're heading in, which is Kang Dynasty, as well as building to Avengers. Now, I think those are the two things that they're really aiming towards right now and focusing on. It's just not super obvious.
Until it comes to fruition, or you sound like Cowboys or Raiders fans.
So,
talking about the rebuild. It's like, you've been doing this for 20 years. There's no it's not rebuilding. You just have what you're looking for.
Right, exactly.
It's not rebuilding.
Yeah. So
but
hopefully, I'm looking forward to, excited about the future of Marvel and DC, and just really all nerdy, because there's tons of stuff coming out. Invincible, all kinds of things. Games and stuff across the board. Now for us, we are gonna try to do merch hopefully by the end of the year. I'm not gonna I'm just saying by the end of the year, we have that figured out. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. I think we can do this as a monthly thing. If people want more, we'll try to do more. But I think for us, the entirety, it's best as just a monthly. It's easier for promotion wise and content, and it's hard to get together. This was difficult even, obviously, as you can see, we had to stop multiple times, many times. Hopefully we can edit it out so you didn't see.
Yeah.
But even that would be its own nightmare. But yeah. So we'll see how it goes. We'll play. That's the plan, monthly, and hopefully merch by the end of the year. If we can do it sooner, that'll be great. But we'll see how it goes. Because we have had to get a LLC with a business. We've had to. We were forced into it because we've been doing this for 12 years, and we've never made any money. Just poured money into it.
We're making money now.
So through Facebook, to be fair, like through Facebook, nothing else. So who knows how long that's going to last, as well as any other social media out there.
Yeah.
So which help hurts us constantly, So yeah. So I think that's it. That's it for us, right?
Yeah, I think that's for us.
So talk nerdy to me and
stay new, planet Earth.